Clean PBNs, right? We got to get clean PBNs. PBNBacklinks.com here. I'm going to peek behind the curtain here and show you exactly how we are doing it. Not only how, but why. I'm going to explain the methodology, and it's principle based. Anyone can do this. It's not magic. It takes due diligence and, well, maybe not everyone. There is some cool testing and software side of it, but everything can be done manually, which is important, right? It's really nothing hidden. I want to show you our exact process so you can understand the hard work and why we invest so much money up front as a fixed cost when setting up the blog, knowing that we want the blog to stay indexed for months and years so we can make an ROI on the back end, not the front, which a lot of sellers do on freelancer websites. Why that is just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, including myself. If you look at the Fiverr video or freelancer video I created about a lot of churn and burn stuff going on in SEO and link building, they get the money up front, you get screwed in the back end. So we're taking the exact opposite approach. We are highly, highly vetting these domains. Make no mistake about it, because we are investing hundreds and hundreds of dollars into each domain we add to the network. Because, like I said, our biggest costs are upfront, they're fixed. We know exactly what we're going to spend. And our variable costs month to month are actually, they get a lot. We make our money long term, basically. If we set this domain up today, spend all this money on it after I show you exactly how we do it, we are going to lose our ass. We're going to lose tons of money, and it's not going to be good. We're going to be spinning our wheels. Our network, our SaaS product, our software, our advantage is based on long term in order to get an ROI. And I'm going to dive into it right now. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that the domain had a clean archive.org history. So how the hell are we finding these domains? So what you can do is you can go through GoDaddy auction or another registrar auction, and you can just start looking around for domains. Now, I was doing this manually at first years ago before I figured out software exists for this. Now, there's a lot of different software for it. Obviously, I'm going to use Domains Genius because Daniel is partnered with it with Gregory Ortiz, right? So two highly respected people in the SEO world, and it's something that I use and it's working out really, really well. So one of the filters I really like is domain age and Google indexed and TLD. So I'm typically looking for .net, .com, and .org. Now, yes, we have other extensions that are actually doing very well in ranking, but for our PBN, we want to kiss it. We want to keep it simple, stupid, taking no risks, right? .net, .com, and .org. Maybe something else, but that's pretty much 99% of the network. The domain age, I like everything older than 5 years. Now, typically, what I've noticed, so I bought a test website. I don't want to go off in this story time too hard. I'm going to show you what we're going to talk about. Quick story time. I bought a domain December 2017. Within 6 months from then, it started to really pick up in rankings and get trusted. So, Google Sandbox, Google Dance, whatever you want to call it, there is a time period and a grace period for new domains to become trusted. The farther we can get away from a 0-day-old domain, 5 years, 10 years, hell, 20 years. We have some church websites in our network right now that are 20 years old, right? Which is really, really awesome. I love nonprofits, right? I get my scummy capitalist hands on them and I scoop them up and I repurpose them and I love them. So those have been the biggest wins for me, at least making me feel warm and tingly, is getting those aged nonprofit, some type of environmental friendly domain with a ton of different authority, EDU links, and all these different crazy things back to it. But I digress. Let me jump back into this. Domain age, so 5 years old. Trust flow 10, citation flow typically you do 10. Trust ratio can do, just leave it. Usually it's not a big deal. Domain authority 10, right? Now, the biggest win I've noticed in the network has been age. I don't know why that is, but domain age has been the biggest winner. Only if the next step is clean, and I'm going to go over that too. So I've set up this filter, and one of the domains that Domains Genius found was leasingideas.com. Now, this may be taken, whatever the hell may have to do, I do not know. This is just for demonstration purposes only. So please do not look at it and assume that it's in our network, because it is not. Somebody else owns it at this point in the video. But what you will see is a beautiful archive.org history. Look at how thorough this is, all the way back to 2000. Isn't that beautiful? So what I like to do is literally go year by year, and I'll check it. I'll check it twice in the year. Sometimes I'll check it December, then I'll check it in February, and I'll do that for every year until I hit a real website. Sometimes when I'm checking this, I will not see any archive history. And you know what I do? I stop. I am done with that website. I don't care how good the metrics are according to Domain Genius or any other software program. If it does not have an archive.org history, I'm out. You can get burnt on this, right? There's a lot of nonsense 301. There's a lot of foreign spammers, or whoever, even native spammers, who are very savvy, and they're spamming this and redirecting it to all kinds of websites, international and local. So you have to be very careful. You could lose your ass on this. So I go through every single year until I find a real website, such as this. So right away, this passes the sniff test, right? I don't see any links to something fishy. It's not repurposed. It's not a gambling anime site, but I do, it doesn't take long. Once you know what the hell's fake, you can sift through the nonsense very quickly. And look, I'll see a post and I'll say, well, were they maybe getting spam on the inner pages? So I'll open up a few pages using archive.org and see how this is a red flag with the 301. But guess what? It redirects to actually the same domain. So this is no longer a red flag to me. If that 301 redirected to free ringtones or something like that, then you would know that it's spam and to get the hell out of there. Then you read through the post. Okay, it matches the content, the look and feel. It's a business leasing commercial equipment website. The content matches up, and there's no odd links into here, right? This is passing all the sniff test on archive.org. It has successfully passed our first check. Yay! WayBackMachine. It's clean. But is the backlink profile clean? So we use a paid tool, semrush.com. Others use Ahrefs, Majestic, whatever the hell you want to use. Be my guest. You want to make sure that you are thoroughly checking the backlinks. Now we go through this. One of the biggest giveaways is Chinese characters or some type of Russian character or something here to give that says, hey, this was a spammer. A spammer network picked it up, threw a whole bunch of crap at it, and 301 did. It does not look like that is the case. And if you go through some of these different, you can actually open them up, go through there, see if the link still exists. Beautiful. It's actually a really, really good link. It's contextual in here. This website looks legit as hell. The Electric Law Library, right? So this is passing not only our archive, if I can find it, not only our archive.org test, but it's also passing our SEMrush test. I don't see any crazy things sticking out here from an anchor text issue or some weird spammy, get free ringtones, free anime, or London escorts or something crazy like that, right? So this is passed another check, which is the backlink profile, which is awesome. So instantly we have an old domain, right? If we set up the filter correctly in our software. As you can see, this domain has a ton of history. Find it again, right? All the way back to 2000. How beautiful is this? So we have a super old domain on our hands here, and it has a clean backlink profile. Usually someone will mess this up. There's so many PBN providers who are getting a clean domain, but in terms of physical, but it was spammed to death. Somebody bought it and spammed a whole bunch of crap at it for whatever reason to test something, and now it's just shot. The domain is done. It's fried. So this is a 90% solution. If you just stop with these two, you're going to have a decent network. But we don't stop there. We don't want to have a decent network. We want to have the best network. So we're going to also make sure, again, strong original metrics, domain age, domain authority, trust flow. Now, it's not an issue because long term, because we are blocking bots. We are blocking SEMrush. We are blocking Ahrefs. We are blocking Majestic. We are blocking all these robots that are trying to determine what our metrics will be. These are not Google metrics. They are in hopes of understanding and guessing what Google wants to see. Make no mistake about it. So again, domain age has been the biggest winner for us, and I'll go into why. The metrics don't matter as much long term if you test the domain properly, which most people are definitely not doing. So you're going to want to then get your domain set up. I go over that briefly in another. There's some overlap in the other video I created, but you're going to want to obviously get on a unique IP, quality hosting. You're going to want to repurpose the original content. Where a lot of people go wrong is when they throw up a a blog, not literally throw up, but it could look like it. They put up a whole bunch of content. They do not use what was already there. You do not have to reinvent the wheel with a PBN. Literally go back into archive, take what was there, strip out all the archive code and anything that leaves a footprint that it was part of archive, and get it repurposed on the website, right? So in other words, this existed at one time and now it's going to exist again, right? We're basically just bringing it back to life. And the thing that people get into problems with is that they are right off the bat, they're creating unique content or what they think is valuable content. Again, a 500 word post, a 1,000 word post, a 2,000 word post, but it's not this. It's something else sort of related to it. Or worse, it's something that's not even really related to it. The worst offenders of this are people who buy this, set up an anime or gambling or escort type website or whatever the hell website it is. It's going to confuse the hell out of the search engines. And when you confuse them, they put a magnifying glass on it. Go, can we trust this? Let's look further. And eventually, weeks and months go by, and the next thing you know, your blog is de-indexed because it just confused the hell out of the search engine spiders, and they don't trust it. So repurpose the homepage and the entire website based on what it once was. That's huge. And then I'm going to go into, did I misclick? Okay. I'm going to go into theming the blog into specific categories based on continuous content. So again, right off the bat, we want to make sure that we are true to the original. But what we can do is if we want to start shifting this blog into more of a finance blog for whatever reason, we can do that over time through content, right? You post about equipment, then you make 2 posts about finance. A post about equipment, 2 posts about finance. You do this and do this and do this. And if the blog is still indexed after a few weeks and months of doing this, don't make too many posts a day. I'll go into exactly how we're doing it. The next thing you know is you have a big blog, a big website, which is indexed and is now being shifted towards a different industry, a different niche. So you can 100% do that and shift the focus of the website to whatever direction you want to put it into. People get into problems when they don't do it slowly, they do it drastically, or it's too much of a radical change. You go from, say, equipment leasing, all of a sudden, like I said, it's anime. You have to remember, though, that the search engines aren't dumb, right? Google, Bing, Yahoo, they're very smart. They understand that websites are general and content really exists on a web page level in terms of relevancy. This is why different test websites where you see people creating monster authority niche websites can talk about scooters, can talk about hoverboards, can talk about archery, because every single page is super relevant to whatever the hell they're talking about. Just like the New York Times or TMZ or insert any other big publication can talk about multiple topics and still be indexed and trusted on a topic and on a page level. Yes, we want to theme it out and we do a great job of that, but some niches are just too specific, right? If you got a grandma's underwear website, I'm sorry, we do not have a PBN for grandma's underwear. But guess what? We're going to get you very relevant content on grandma's underwear. I don't know why the hell I went there. That's sick. So we're not going to talk about that anymore. My grandma doesn't even wear underwear. No, she wears thongs. Let's see here. Repurpose content, theme the content out. Unique Whois. Yes. So for Whois information, you want to change this out. You have to add privacy to your blogs, or you have to go the extra mile and you have to get a unique name on there, a unique email that you have access to. You have to get a unique phone number. You have to do a lot of different things. You have to jump through a lot of hoops to get all your blogs unique. And this is a step most providers don't do. If you were to check them, a lot of them are just literally leaving it the same. You know, they have hundreds of blogs on one Whois, right? The same name, the same address, the same email, the same phone number. That is a huge footprint to the search engines, and it's a huge no-no. And it's a reason why a lot of them got hurt over the years, is because they don't take that extra step, because it's extremely time-consuming and expensive to do it for every single blog. All these steps add up to a lot of different time. So IFTT, I go about this in one of my other videos. You have to reinvest back into your PBNs. If you are simply buying a domain at auction, throwing up some content, throwing up a 500-word or 1,000-word blog post and putting links in for yourself or clients immediately, you are trying to get an ROI today rather than tomorrow, and it's going to hurt you. You have to invest long-term for a PBN to be successful. And one of the ways we are doing it is we are creating mini brands for every single blog, and we are creating social profiles on the main platforms, and we're also doing it across hundreds of weaker ones as well and getting those indexed, just so we can feed the search engines a story over and over and over. So an example would be, if we were to repurpose this, we may make the name, Chuck Giggity would be the guy's name, and I have a picture of him. Chuck Giggity has been a commercial equipment leasing expert since 1947, right? He enjoys spearfishing, reading books that have pictures in them, whatever the hell the story is. Then we're going to take that story about this brand that we built, and we're going to make sure that when we go and link build for our PBN, we include that story somewhere into the link back to the website, right? Association is huge. I go over that more in detail in the other video. SSL encryption. So a lot of people are not willing to invest in SSL certificates because they're expensive and they're a pain in the ass to set up correctly. So even if people get SSL, you may have been on a website before that has SSL, but for whatever reason it shows that it's not protected. That's because something is wrong. An image or an embed is just simply not encrypted, and it's probably a bad signal because it shows that it's really insecure, and it's moving towards what a scam website would be doing, which is appear legit but not be. So they're actually hurting themselves. So we want to move as far away from a PBN, a typical PBN, and a scam website would be, and that is implementing SSL certificates correctly across the entire website, not just the homepage. This is where the real fun begins. Testing, right? So we have a grace period. So yes, we do all this. We paid a couple $100s for the domain. We paid a couple $100s for setup. We really want to start making money and getting this thing live and helping our clients and ourselves get rankings and results. But you can't do that. You have to be disciplined. And what we do is our first test is a week test, but it's necessary. We do 30 days, one post a day of posting content on the blog. And I go over content creation in another video. Again, like I said, very thoroughly. If you want to look at that, it's a three-part advantage to how we're doing that. And one of the biggest wins has been our users and our loyal members, really, really coming up with creative ways to use their dashboard to really feed the search engine robots hyper-relevant information about their business and related associations. So we post one per day for 30 days on the blog, and then we want to make sure, is the blog still indexed? There's been plenty of times where we bought a domain that looked clean, we set it up, did all the right things, we posted, we put it in Backlinks indexer, we pinged it, we did all these things, but it would not get indexed. And that's because for some reason or another, it was fried in the eyes of Google and Bing. It was not trusted, and we had to take it at a loss. A weaker network would have kept it in and just kept throwing stuff at it and client links on it and would have hoped. We did not do that. The next step after it passes that test is a ranking test. We combined different anchor text and specific web pages, and we tracked the start rank when we started the test and its current rank after 60 days. If there has not been an improvement after 60 days, we will not add this blog into the network because we know it is not trusted enough to increase rankings. We've added some blogs, again, which have passed all the sniff tests but have decreased rankings for whatever reason. And when we do these tests, we're not just doing this to random Joe Schmo websites. We're doing this to trusted websites. These are top 1,000 Alexa websites, and we're picking web pages that match up different keywords. So, for example, a plumber, we would, if we added a plumber-based website, we would test it with plumber keywords, linking back to a plumber web page. And if it did not increase the rankings, this website is not affiliated, obviously, with us for this test purpose. We will not add it to the network. And this has been a huge win and a big relief for us because we know that then we can just pick domains based on what the hell's going to work versus blindly trusting domain authority, one of the weakest metrics. We have personal domains and websites that are beating out DA50 websites that have literally DA of 1. So domain authority and metrics are not a perfect science. Domain age and actual results are the only things that are pretty cut and dry. It's either old or it's not. It's either increasing rankings or it's not. Again, I went over setup with unique IPs. Stay away from that cheap SEO hosting crap. And then upkeep, monitoring uptime, post dates, index size, and if the blog is de-indexed. Now, why are we doing all this? We are doing this because all of our costs, or not all of them, most costs are upfront. Our business model hinges on the fact that we need to pick winners. We cannot have a churn and burn strategy. We need longevity. Most freelancers are opposite. They need money now, upfront. We do not. We are a SaaS product. We understand that by investing hundreds of dollars into every single domain in the network is going to yield us results on the back end. We know it may take 6 months for a blog to break even, but after that, the profit margins are much higher than the industry average because we have paid our dues to get the blog trusted and we have content creation that is scalable. So it is in our best interest. We are incentivized to make sure that we do not have a churn and burn business model because if a blog is churn and burn and gets de-indexed within 6 months or even a year, we are either going to lose money or break even. And we are not in business to break even, obviously. So it is in our interest for our blog to last years and years and years. And again, my eyes light up when I put those filters in and scoop up one of those old church websites or one of those one of those nonprofit websites. Yeah. So again, it's not the sexiest thing, but you understand that there's nothing magical to this. If you could do all these things manually, the testing may be a bit of more of a pain in the ass, but we have all this automated and systemized for the most part. And what isn't automated, we have trained up with thorough, in-depth tutorials for internal operations for our virtual assistants to keep costs down. We are very systemized and organized, and we're tracking everything. If a blog does happen to get de-indexed, we remove it immediately from the network. It sucks when it happens. It does happen. It's just the nature of the beast. But our rate is super, super low. We probably have 1 to 2% de-index rate year over year, which is much lower than the industry average. So we're really not losing a whole lot of blogs or posts over time, which is all that matters. If you plan on investing into a PBN, whether you're building out your own, you have to do it this way. And if you want a service that is doing it the right way and actually gives you reporting, you can see our Whois is different. You can see we're investing back into mini brands, reinvesting back into the blog. Our content creation is spot on. Our SSL encryption is on every single blog. You can see we are blocking bots with Bot Nemesis. You can see we have a clean backlink profile at SEMrush. You can see the domain has a clean history. I don't know who the hell's buying these spam domains, but I look through Domains Genius every day, and I see different auctions where people are bidding up domains that have a clean archive history, but their backlink profile is just pure trash. And it's mind-boggling to me that somebody is going to spend all that money and they're not doing their due diligence. Um, Maybe they just don't know or they're lazy. I have no idea, but this is how we're running our PBN. We're getting awesome results for ourselves and clients. We've been in business for years now. We plan on being in business for years to come. Again, it is a PBN, but just because it's a PBN does not mean it needs to be trash. We want to move away from the typical PBN all the way to a premium website. Even some quote real websites do not even have all these things in place for testing purposes. So it's working out really, really awesome for us. Again, domainsgenius.com. If you have any questions, uh, you can submit a ticket through support, pre-sales question, or if you're already a member, you can look through our in-depth tutorials. And if you still have questions or if you have any issues, please contact us. We're here for you 24/7. We have a great team. We want to make sure this is a success for you. PBNbacklinks.com, and have a great day. We'll see your rankings increase. And thank you very much for being a part of this video and a part of this service. We look forward to getting you awesome links where you can actually see what the hell's going on and watch your rankings climb for yourself and clients in a scalable, stress-free solution.